about what you giving, don't the way you front, motherfucker.
Check 1 2, check 1 2. This your host with the most, live from the West Coast, Professor Trynch. Once again, this is Trynch Talk Podcast. I'm here with my co-host today, Big MRock.
Yeah.
Man, how you feeling today?
Oh man, you know it always feel good to be in the trenches, man.
All
you know
the
what I'm saying? Other people feel uncomfortable in the trenches, man. We at our best in the trenches. You feel me? So we loving it.
And that's a message to a lot of y'all. If you're scared to be in the trenches, go somewhere nice. Go feed some ducks somewhere.
Please do.
So, I want to touch on, let's go ahead and go into this. We're going to get to Kanye soon enough. But let's talk about this. I saw a story where it was a sheriff that 100% got himself arrested because he wanted to sell some guns and wind up selling them to an FBI informant.
That's what the fuck you get, Mr. Sheriff, man. Because you done locked all kind of motherfuckers up for guns and doped and talked all that motherfucking justice shit and got your dog ass caught up trying to sell some guns. And the question is, you know, who he thought he was selling to. He probably thought he was selling to some motherfucker. What color was it?
Black.
He was black.
Black sheriff sold to a black informant.
It was a black sheriff.
So this is cop on snitch violence, low key.
You still black, brother. You still black, man. You think 'cause you ain't no sheriff, you not black, man? They couldn't wait to set your motherfucking dog ass up, man.
Somebody remember your ass behind them walls, and they gonna make sure that you remember them.
It kills me, man. It kills me, man. How the motherfuckers call themselves. I guess they want to be gangster police, huh? Well, what is that?
They got a documentary about that called 7-5 that it obviously didn't work in the 80s or the 90s.
7-5. Motherfucker got caught up with the guns, man. Do your time, man. Hey, man. You know, I start off, get your rest in, do you some push-ups, man. All that. You know what I'm saying? Because, yeah, man, they gonna teach your black ass a lesson, man. They gonna remind you that you black, man. Even if you are a sheriff, a PD, or whatever, man, you gotta remember, you can't erase the color of your skin.
Man, he had the dreadlocks and everything, man.
He was feeling himself.
Oh yeah, it's a wrap for him. Ain't nothing they can do for him.
I wonder what he was bumping on his way there. On his way to drop the guns off, what he was bumping.
Fuck the police.
Hey, man. That motherfucker something, man. Hey, so, Kanye, man. Damn, boy.
Why even bother part 3, 4 to 1,000?
Hey, man. That man.
But you touched on the fact that we was talking about off camera that maybe with him going through what he's going through with Kim, he's just trying to empty his bank account as best as possible.
He probably said, fuck that. He probably know some motherfuckers coming for him. And he say, fuck that, fuck these deals, fuck you ain't getting none of this money. They take all that motherfucking money before I give it to your motherfucking ass.
And you can find Yeezys for $15.99 at DD's discount.
And when he get broke, you leave your ass for a white girl.
That's what he should have did. He was fucked either way. FYI, that is a smooth testing sound of who the fuck is Bloody Gordy, a.k.a. California Dope Boy.
He up in there getting it in. You know, we up in the trenches, so it's always work going on. We working. He working. You know, Jay Will just left. Working. You know. Hey, Bug. Y'all know him as Ruthless 22. 22 Ruthless. However you want to say it. It goes both ways. He working. You know, everybody working, man. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, but losing his motherfucking mind, man. They taking all them contracts and shit. That shit crazy. I hope he's not, man. I hope it's a silver lining to the end of this motherfucking story, man. I truly do, man. I truly do. I hate to watch a black man get torn down like that. I talk shit and clown, but at the end of the day, man, you know what I'm saying? It's like
he saw this coming.
Yeah.
He saw this with Dave Chappelle. He came into the game seeing what happened with Dave Chappelle, and he's going through the same thing. And the only difference is Kanye's not dipping off and coming back like he didn't hit the barbells. It looked like he's coming back with that Harry and the Henderson beard.
It's a little different from Dave Chappelle, though, man. He said some shit and they stripping him. David Chappelle walked away from a multi-million-dollar contract because he couldn't have control over his show. That's a little him. They treating him like old female in an old nightclub, man. They stripping him, man. He's stripping up there, stripping like a motherfucker.
Man, he getting his ass whipped in the club, and
Cheap
Jay-Z in the
cigarettes,
VIP lounge looking that nigga dead in the eye like, hey,
I tries to tell you, man.
my big brother's his big brother.
I tries to tell you, man. It gets real.
Nigga, you should have ran with Benny Siegel for a minute.
You know the saying they say, man, you got to be careful when you get high up. Cause that fall is longer and harder, man. You know what I'm saying? When the higher you go up, you fall. That fall is it's a deeper fall. You feel me?
Man, a whole lot of people go through that shit. Everybody's gonna go through their rise and fall.
That's true.
Like,
that's true.
you're fortunate if everybody doesn't see it though, because now you got to go to the grocery store. Now you got to go get your car serviced, and everybody's walking around looking at you like, oh, that guy's a shell of himself.
Right. You really, it's like, you know, back when we was young, you know, they made that song called Self-Destruction.
Yeah.
You know, and then motherfucker have to be careful with that, man. You know, that's what makes shit sad when you see self-destruction. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Motherfucker that made it to his pinnacle. You know, did strive, fought hard. You know what I'm saying? You know, took some losses along the way, got there. You know, made some extremely good business deals. You know what I'm saying? Got put on the level in the start. You get what I'm saying? Self-destruction. And it's like, but what people got to remember is, regardless, and for the people, for the fans, and also the actual superstar, they got to remember that motherfuckers human, and humans go through every emotion. People would like to look at stars as beyond being regular humans, but shit.
Now, I'm a be a devil's advocate about this. He comes from that background where all the conscious lyrics of keeping yourself, being one with yourself, common. I'm like, I know he's heard Brand Nubian Slow Down. I know he's heard Don't Let It Go to Your Head. I know he's heard all the songs that hip hop has to provide about being true to yourself. And I think he just pushed all that aside for pretty much how society bigged him up. Like the ego is a mug. Like there is nothing you can do with a person that is ego driven. All you can do is pretty much watch the current take them. Like, you know.
Yeah, you constantly told you're a genius. Oh, you're genius in your mind. Start believing that everything you say, every decision, everything is just genius, and no one understands, because that's what a person that believes a genius or a genius begins to believe. Like, oh, I'm thinking on a higher level, on a higher plane, and you need to get up to my plane of thinking, because they lose touch with common sense. My grandma used to say that. My grandma used to say, get intelligent as you can, but never lose your common sense. And
that's a fact.
Never stop being grounded. Common sense the best sense.
Okay.
It really is.
I don't know what. Hey, all these deals he's losing, that's like a first that people are seeing. Like you've seen people like, all right, come and go, but they came at everybody at one point. Like everybody who becomes a legend, they're going to come some type of test before the people is going to come in front of you.
Yeah.
You can't avoid that.
Yeah, it gets real when you get big, man, and you become to that level, and it's like especially nowadays. You know what I'm saying? Like you say, back in the days, you had shit like Inquiring Minds, one and you remember shit that, what the fuck was that? Where they used to snatch the magazine and it had all
National Enquirer, yeah. Bob
woman,
Hope was on his last leg for 30 years.
Right. Woman gives birth to alien child and all this old shit, right? You done had his planes. Now it's like, with the social media, with the internet, you can make a career out of so many different things. You can make a career off strictly hating. You know what I'm saying? When have hating been a thing you can get money off of? Now that the haters can get money, there's no way. I don't give a fuck. And this is how I feel. This can be absolutely incorrect, but this is how I fucking feel. I believe in today's time, it's like, there's no way of getting around it. You can be the most, nice person. You can do everything right. You know what I'm saying? But you're going to get attacked. You go have people saying something. You go have people trying to distort your history, where you came from, because it's money in that. It's a future in them for that. People like to, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, they looking for anything, and that's something that a new era star has to go through, with so many different trinkets and devices for people to dig into your life. You know what I'm saying? And try to switch shit and say shit and all that. That's kind of like, it's a lot different when you really look at it like that. You know what I'm saying? People, man, it's like, it's crazy now, man. You feel me? When you become certain, it's like, man, motherfucker will find a audio you didn't even know existed. You know what I'm saying? Saying some shit. It's like, come on, man. It's like everybody.
It don't even have to be a person that know you.
Yeah.
Person being at one party with you, all of a sudden they got a story that they on every news broadcast telling about you.
Right. And when was we supposed to be perfect in our culture? Like rap and all that. That wasn't meant to be perfect. It was for the outcasts. It was for the people who wasn't perfect, who wasn't understood and all that shit. Motherfucker can speak their mind and be accepted from where we come from. Fuck being politically correct and all this shit. Like,
they didn't want to wear the penny loafers and the suit and tie,
like,
and you know, pretty much walk the way society kept telling you to walk.
That's what this shit was strived. Hey, that's what this shit was strived on.
And the crazy part is, this is the number one culture, not R&B, not nothing else, that really made people become entrepreneurs, that made people become solid businessmen, and it was deemed devil music pretty much.
What? Look, I had a real moment with it, right? And with my uncle. Now, I was fortunate to have an uncle my uncle was like 5 years older than me, 5-6 years older than me, right? So when I was like elementary, he was a teenager. So, you know, he kept me up on the fresh kicks, and, you know, when you got somebody older and then, you know, all the music. So we used to go get all the albums together. I remember when, you know, LL dropped this shit, I'm Bad, you know what I'm saying, the Panther, and, you know, the motherfucking, you know, what the fuck, L Troop and shit, right? You know, Salt and Pepper dropped that shit. My uncle went to Taft High School with Ice Cube, right? He went to Taft High School with Ice Cube. When NWA dropped, my uncle came from school. I was sitting in the living room. He was like, come on, let's go up here to the record store. There's some nigga in my school talking about he dropped the album and shit. I swear to God, right? So we go up to the swap meet, and we had a little record shop at the Gage swap meet and shit on Gage in Vermont. And we go get the album coming. I remember like, damn, there's a bunch of niggas on this motherfucker. You feel me? Like, and he flipped that motherfucker and looked to the back and seemed like, oh shit, here you go right here. He say he never seen him again after that, right? And that's what we used to be doing, right? But the moment I had is with the 2 Live crew, right? So, you know, I live with my grandma. My grandma, she was strict. So she left, she said, okay, check this out. You know, I think my uncle talked to her into buying a stereo, and that motherfucker had a turntable on it, a mixer or something. She didn't know, right? When we went to go buy the motherfucker, she didn't know it had that. So we used to have to wait till she leave and turn that motherfucker up and get to trying to mix and shit. You know, we watching Beat Street, Crush Groove, all this shit. So my grandma put a plant on top of the speaker, smart, you know, like that. We thinking she ain't knowing no better. She put a plant for the vibration to see if we bumping it loud, the vibration of the plant. So she caught us the first time with that. But one day my uncle made me mad, right? So I used to hold the point when we be playing the explicit lyrics, right? So you gotta think it ain't no shit like this bumping at the time. So she come pulling up from the grocery market, sitting there, and he bumping 2 Live crew, right? Hey, we want some pussy, right? It's bumping loud as a bumper. So he did something to piss me off. So she pull up. I'm like, fuck that. I ain't finna tell this nigga shit. I'm finna let her walk up on it, right? And she walk up. It was crazy because she just like, first she wasn't paying attention. He was like, what? Playing loud music. Then when she heard the lyrics, my grandma was like, what? He was, hey, we was like, oh, it was crazy when you think that was like, yeah, that was the start of that shit, bro.
I went through that with the Dog Pound album on a Christmas morning. Like, I asked for that album for Christmas. Man, my parents like, let's play house. We made it damn near. And then here comes that song, and if I fuck, and if Dash fuck, and if I bust a nut, then we all gonna fuck. And I'm just sitting there like, I'm never gonna see this again. And it drip, drop, drip. Look at these hoes all over my dick. I'm just opening gifts like, I got pajamas, huh? This is awkward. And I never saw that tape again. Matter of fact, my mom still got that tape, still to this day.
That motherfucker was awesome. She probably went in the back.
It's brand spanking new. Man, did they?
Hey, that motherfucker was hard. That was a nice album, man.
Hell yeah, shout out to Dog Pound. Hurry up and put that shit back on Spotify,
that
man. We know y'all trying to get y'all money, Snoop, man. Hurry up.
I remember hearing, like when I heard, now don't get me wrong, I liked it all. The shit I'm rapping, like when NWA was out and all that shit. I was crazy about it. Like when they used to be doing they songs and shit like Gangsta, I used to be visualizing this shit. A nigga stepping in the party and just disrupting shit, right? And it was like when that era came, when Snoop and Dre hooked up and they did the Chronic, it was like, I think it went like from a party to like actually feeling the music. Like that shit was playing with my head and all the music and the instruments, and it got doo-doo-doo-doo, and then, so then they came with the dog. In my head, I was like,
that what would
nothing's
you do?
going to ever beat this. Like this, their combination was just too raw, Dash and Corrupt. How they spent back and forth off each other, you know what I'm saying?
But I always say with great albums, it is really that one project that's in between the great albums, which was Murder Was the Case. Murder Was the Case, Above the Rim. I'm like, them motherfuckers are classics. Like when you want to talk about that Death Row era, I'm like, shit, that Murder Was the Case. Everybody was playing that motherfucker.
That motherfucker was hard. Snoop hit with such a laid back sound, along with it was just like it was unexplainable. That shit went together like ice cream and ice cream cones. It was like they took I'm talking about, man, we was involved, like going to school, that's all we was bumping, like the parties, I mean it was going up, you know what I'm saying,
We was in Wyoming, we stole the Snoop Dogg Top Dog album because them motherfuckers in Wyoming didn't know about LA niggas. As soon as we walked in the shop and we didn't see nobody in there, we was like, I'm my goofy ass talking about, hello. My homeboy tapped me, he said, they don't know what's about, they don't know about us in here. Then he grabbed 3 CDs, walked up out of there. Man, so we was partying that night. I'm like, man, that was a great era.
Yeah.
It's something, but what brought it together with the old heads was the fact that it was the emergence of rap and funk, and it was something to where the adults even was able to sit back because they like sipping on gin and juice. It was all about, like, Snoop really rapped about what his old heads did, and that drew a whole, pretty much, that kind of like grouped Black America together in a way.
I was in juvenile hall for bank robbery, right? Me and my crime partner, Baby Deco, we was getting tried as adult shit. So we was on the bus, and we used to go. They used to take us. They'd come pick us up, the sheriff bus. I come to juvenile hall, and they didn't give a fuck. Like, the sheriffs didn't give a fuck. They like, these young motherfuckers, they wild. I know they had to be getting paid like a motherfucker. They didn't care. We used to be screaming out the windows, hollering at, because it was like from juvenile hall, they used to put us in a little ass van. You couldn't look out the windows. They had them all closed in. We on a big ass sheriff bus, but we can look out before they came up with the new sheriff buses that's hot. This was old school. You can look straight out the window. It just had bars and shit, right? We hollering at females. Hey, they're not giving a fuck. They take us to juvenile hall. Then they take us to the county. Once we get to the county, they never let us come in. They'll put us on the different buses, whatever court you go to, right? And then everybody had to come back. In the beginning, it wasn't a whole lot. So the whole juvenile hall can fill on one bus who was getting tried as a dope back in that time, right? So we got to go back there. We'll sit on the bus, and then I remember it was this dude. I think he was from Grape Street. He was a Crip. He asked where we was from and shit. Me and my crime partner like, yeah, we from Brims, we blood. They like, oh, he like, oh man, And he went to court that day. They ended up sentencing him, giving him life. So when he came back, he was tripping like, yeah, man. He was like, fuck that. He was going off on everything. Make a long story short, this nigga slid us a joint. He was telling the sheriff, like, man, let me just holler at them, man. I just need to talk to them for a second. He came back, he was like, huh. He slid, he slid us a joint, and he slid us like a little striker in a match. Some weed. Dang, yeah. While he leaving off the bus, he turned around and say, how y'all feel now, right? I swear I cannot make this up. The moment he said that, Endo Smoke came on the radio, Mr. Grimm, you know what I'm saying? It was when it was on the radio. It was exactly the time when it was out. And that shit came over. So
We shackled up all fucked up and everything, right? So when he turned around and said, yeah, y'all might be high, but how y'all feel now? The song come on, we get the boogie, and even though we shackled up, we like, yeah. Oh, he looked at him and said, you motherfuckers is crazy. The sheriff, yeah, man. Yeah.
Yeah, the funk era. Ain't nothing like that. Warren G. Who Saved Def Jam, by the way. I always want to put that in there. I'm like, shit.
Regulators.
And Nate Dogg was on everybody's hit record. Like, literally. And we have not had anybody that replaced him or even been close. I mean, for real, that's one thing the Dog Pound, they do sit on like some cold, like, melody.
Man.
They got Cocaine, they got Butch Cassidy.
They was in that motherfucker putting it together. I ain't lying. It's the G-Funk era. Call it the G-Funk. That's what I'm talking about. It was hard. Yeah, man. Yeah. Let's go. Hey.
But ain't nothing like that. But that Kanye era, I'm just gonna be real. I want somebody to explain to me what was so popping about it. What was everybody dancing to? I mean, to me, it gave birth to the people who were scared to be outside. It gave them an opportunity to be outside, and because he was popular, the people who already was outside and fucked with what was popular, fucked with Kanye. Cause I remember at that time, that's when Twister was dropping. You had a lot.
He had some good hits though in the beginning, man. Kanye.
Yeah.
In the beginning, when he came with the what was the shit he had on the radio before Jesus Walk and stuff? When he had the
he had the Bounce with Jay-Z. He had his first real beat with Rockefeller is The Truth by Beanie Siegel.
Right. Oh yeah, he
they said no, and what you call it is his too. But he gave it to Pharrell, Grinding.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I was like, with those. You know when you broke, I like all the Kanye's when he was broke his. Once he took his first trip to Europe and came back and got to talking about Sierra Leone, and then came back with a super diamond up Jesus piece, I said, motherfucker, you bogus. I'm like,
man.
I mean, but like, to me, you are really a legend when people who don't fuck with you even got about 10 songs that they fuck with.
He was doing his thing, man. It was different. You know what I mean? But,
yeah, he just came when people weren't talking that killing shit. Like, when everybody was talking about they was a drug dealer or a killer, he came talking about I'm a college dropout, and it worked. I mean, you had, and just so happened, really though, he was teamed up when Mos Def and Talib was going up. Common was skyrocketing, and it was like Kanye was hitting up with all them beats. Chappelle's show was skyrocketing, so that circle, it was only destined for everybody in that circle to get to the bag the way they did.
Real talk.
I'm like, but Dave shows you how it really went. I'm like, you seen how Common, he took like a nice little absence of leave, like where you don't really see him in the movies, you didn't see him in music as much. Mm-hmm. I'm like, but Kanye, you kept talking that shit. You came in wanting to be political. You came in talking about George Bush don't like black people, and then when you said Donald Trump is my daddy, and then slavery was a choice, you know, niggas is fickle sometimes. We love to give people a shot, knowing they gonna kick our ass in it. Like, and I feel like everybody is turning with their legs open, ready to get kicked in the nuts by Kanye. He done showed you that the fashion game, I think what he really did before Balenciaga really dropped him, he showed you how bogus Balenciaga was because he came out in straight up bum attire and got everybody buying bum clothes, faded t-shirts that looked like they had cigarette ashes rubbed all over them, and got you spending hundreds of dollars for them. I'm like, he's really showing people what it is. I give him that credit. But all that looking spaced out in front of the camera, come on, black man, stand strong, sit up. Like I like how you checked it up. I like how you checked Pierce Morgan. He said, listen, boy. I was like, that's right. I was like, all right, you got about 1,000 points for that. Now you're $1 million behind.
Man, now we gotta have the inevitable, man. You gotta tell us the story about what happened, man, with the dog, man.
I will once I get this legal matter over with.
You gotta have it. But you got an episode coming, man.
Oh man, hey, let me tell you something.
It's just gonna be hilarious, man. It's crazy. But it's legal matters involved right now.
Nuts in the lab.
It's gonna have to be but let's just say it got something to do with a particular animal,
you know what I'm saying? In a
particular
uniform
over, right? Let's just say that.
I think I'm even. We're gonna do a reenactment with that. We're gonna use Padre for that.
Man, that's like what?
Padre's gonna be like it's gonna be an extra out version of that motherfucker.
Yeah, having a nigga dragging you down the street. Hey man, that shit crazy. But yeah, man. But what else the fuck's been going on, man?
Oh man, shit. I mean, you want to shout out Chingy for putting a history lesson out there?
Hey man, Chingy, we didn't know, man. We didn't know you had people connected to the set. Chingy, where you been, man? We could have been tapped in, man. Holler, man. We would have hollered at you, man. We didn't know how you was doing it like that right there. We didn't know how you was doing it like that right there.
And I really want to make this one example too. I know Kanye's going through some stuff, but there is one person that is his diametric opposites that stood tall and shined through it all, and that's Boosie. Boosie is out here getting to the bag.
Hey man, you gotta love him, man. You're a street motherfucker, man. How can you not love him?
Like
keep it real.
Even after he stopped being in the street activity, he turned around and he's still coming at people for his product.
Devils, get him off me.
And he went to 85 South Show and told him, man, I'm mad at Sam's Club right now. He said they got everybody's rap snacks in there but mine, and mine's is the one that's hidden.
Yeah, I heard his rap snacks is popping. I heard the barbecue things is flavorful.
And he came in a different way. He got the estate. He got his kids. He got his kids because he's not no lame.
Hey man, fuck that. He been himself, man. Fuck, like I said it again, man. Motherfuckers right now, man, gotta try to be so politically correct. You can't say this and you go offend this person. You go offend motherfuckers gonna be offended, man. You know, it just is what it is, man. My thing is this, man. You know what I'm saying? No one struggle is to be down, right? But I feel like that they just continue to put other movements and other struggles before the black needs, and it's nowhere into comparison, man. It's like, come on, man. How do we even get compared to certain type of shit that I'm not gonna bring up? Cause I don't want to fucking be canceled.
Man, it's straight up. Just cut the check so
I
we
need to
can
get
all
some
be
money.
quiet and get to
I'll
the
talk
bag.
some more shit when I get money. Right now,
I'm like, cut the check so we could all get to the bag. Dear America, just cut the check. I'm like, you will hear so much less whining out of the black population. You will hear so many less debates. You will see people out here moving. You will actually see the sunshine on the black community.
I've been hearing that they supposed to be shooting some reparations out, man.
Oh yeah, they got the committee together, so they getting the talks together to start putting them numbers together for it. I'm like, so if you got a drop of black blood in you, and I'm here to say it, white girls don't come over here once you know the check is coming, because we ain't got nothing for you.
I don't want to see you with no dreadlocks.
Yeah, we gonna be recycling them dollars in the black community.
With an accent and shit, talking about African with a K. On the David Chappelle show, when reparations was passed out, the richest man in the world was a dice shooter.
My nigga Tron.
He was breaking everybody for their reparation checks.
And I'm gonna spend this money before you honkies change your mind. That was my shit.
It's crazy how David Chappelle was so G's that this happened. It's like, damn. Like, imagine that imagine, it's crazy how I look at life in times, you feel me? Like in the time and era that people live in. You know what I'm saying? Some people, they live a long time in the era, and, you always going to miss shit when your passing comes. But it's crazy. It's crazy when you see, if that happens, that's like, damn. Like, I live long enough to see a black president and get reparations in my time. That's crazy.
See, but one thing America hasn't had yet is a nigger president. One that's gonna really act, that's gonna let you know he gonna spend the money, he gonna be out partying, he not gonna be at the press conferences.
You gotta have somebody soften him up first. Obama was a good soften up. He built the basketball court up in there. That was some nigga shit. You know what I'm saying? Come straight up in the White House.
Warmongers for long enough.
With a basketball court. When you watch the inauguration dance,
He did like a two-step like Grandpa would out there. He kind of hit it like a nigga would. He wasn't out there with, when he did that. Man, yeah, for real. Put it on the TV, man. We going to start showing. When he did that inauguration dance, I was like, oh yeah, that's a nigga right there. He kind of hit it like he hit it like a nigga. Him and Michelle.
He did like he was on the Soul Train line like for 2 seconds.
And this is what I liked. Let me tell you what I liked it about. He did a lot of shit I didn't like. Don't get it wrong, but what I liked it about the representation of it above all, because you couldn't get around Michelle. You say what you say about Obama, but you couldn't get around Michelle. You know what I'm saying? I remember Michelle was on the Oprah show, because they was mad at Michelle for that. Cause they were like, you say you don't use Oprah, at Oprah for that, saying you don't use your platform for presidency, but you let Michelle on there. She was like, well, she's not the president. You know what I'm saying? This is the president wife. The runner, because at the time she wasn't president.
Yeah.
And Oprah had asked, if I'm not mistaken, I was watching it, but you should be able to pull it up. But Oprah had asked her, like, how do you see your husband? Like, when you look at your husband, what do you see? And this was before it was president. She was like, my husband is a strong black man. You feel me? So when she did that, that represented that we going in that way. We not trying to pussyfoot it. So I liked it that. She was like, he's a strong, black, intelligent black man. And, she let that be known. And that's how they went through the door. So I can give them that much. It wasn't like he was it was like, no, they went in on some, we
tell you, that Black Power movement that was on YouTube, boy, they was ripping Obama when he came in.
Tearing him apart.
Man, they tore him apart.
Because they thought every nigga, people be having the wrong perception. They thought every nigga was going to wake up in the morning and have some money in their account.
Yeah. I'm like, hey, look, it's just like when one of your black family members wins the lottery and you think the check is owed to you and you ain't never done shit for him.
And it's like, he do some shit. It's a trickle down thing. He was like, I do things for minority, hoping that, that my people also take advantage of it. You know what I'm saying? But
I'm just gonna be real. You should have just stayed out of the black politics. Don't wait till you get out of office to all of a sudden tell everybody, now's the time. Hey, sit down, nigga. Like, officially, you got your house, you got your kids. Your kid is smoking weed out here. Shout out to the Obama daughter that's big out here blowing.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
When you come to Cali, holler at the trenches.
Ain't nothing wrong with that, man. She blowing. Shit.
She probably over there at the Stizzy shop right now buying the house.
They finally got it, man. Like, y'all been, people go out to parties and clubs and can socially drink and you can go to Applebee's or Chili and buy a drink, and alcohol actually kills people. It actually disimpairs them like that. Like, weed been cool. It's supposed to have been legalized. Like, stop fucking playing. Like, you can't even compare it to alcohol. I can sit up in here, bro, and literally fucking smoke a QP.
Use every utensil known to man.
I can smoke a QP. I can roll up. I be high as a motherfucker, but I can still function. Because you know what? Ain't gonna tell you nigga nothing but a split second for it to wear off. Just the thought of death will make a motherfucker high start subsiding when it comes to weed and all this shit. But alcohol, you would get in the car and you would start going up.
You learn that no matter what.
You would start getting drunker as you driving. Like, oh shit. Like, and that shit kills many people years.
I've done that before. The one time, I don't have too many times where I say, I'm too fucked up, I can't drive. But I know one time, my homeboy must have pulled up with a gallon of that motherfucking Seagram vodka.
Man.
And we got to drinking that shit with cranberry juice, orange juice, all kind of goddamn juices. My best friend pulled up. He got to drinking with us. I swear, when we finished that bottle, I got in the car and I said, I got fishbowl eyes. I said, I cannot drive. He said, bro, I got to go home. I don't even remember how I got home, but I know that next day I had to call off because I was driving to work, dry heaving all over my car.
Good night. Good night, bro.
Like,
Nighty night.
Fuck that.
You're
Now,
right.
with weed, you can hit 18 blunt. You can roll up this motherfucking carpet and hit that shit all the way to the ass, and all you gonna do is go to sleep and wake up, and you might just be tired for 2 to 3 days. Like after a real smoke session.
You are out of here.
Man, shit. And it's all type of crazy shit going on out here. Like, biggest thing of all that we want to promote here at Out the Trenches, stay out of the life and stop snitching if you're in the life. That's the number one thing. You got a choice every day when you wake up. You could at any given time stop this shit. This is not 1980 or where they're making the movies where they're grabbing a person by the shirt saying, listen here, motherfucker. Now you in this life. No, people want you to get the fuck away from when you feel snitchy. Like, so please, do the trenches a favor and stop snitching. You dig?
Please. Or just stay out of it. I mean, it's much easier to be a civilian anyway.
It is.
Just be a civilian. You know what I'm saying? Don't get in it and then, fold on somebody like, that's snakish. Snakes is good in no culture. It's not good in no culture.
Well, most of all, do some bullshit out here, and then turn around and think you finna go to a job where somebody's following you consistently going to work. Just stay square. Being square, no matter what, you're gonna have your time in life where you're going to shine.
You're going to shine.
Shit,
my bad, man.
No, don't worry about it.
That tech. But yeah, man, the trenches, man. We chop it up. We gonna be here next time. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to all the people that's connected to the trenches. You know what I'm saying? Shout out 28 Grams. Shout out Bloody Gort. Shout out Trust the Process. You know what I'm saying? Our guys at Rap A Lot Midwest. Shout out Tiny Low. You know what I'm saying? Our brother who gave us inspiration to do bigger things.
We coming soon with that documentary.
Shout out to Kurt. And just shout out to everybody who supported Tiny M. Shout out to your motherfucking ass too.
Yeah, free Tiny M.
He's always asking for a shout out. So another shout out. Shout out to Tiny M. That's your second shout out. So I got you 2 in, you know what I'm saying? And
what's coming up next is what's coming up soon. We're gonna start dropping previews for Saving Our Own, which is going to be
Saving Our Own.
It's going to be a very long series that we're going to drop, where we're going to give you a story of a man who has been through. You want to hear a story of the trenches? Well, this is one for the books, everybody.
The story of Curtin Moore, aka Kurt Dog, aka Killer Kurt, aka that one you niggas that know about. So I guess they was special as fuck because there's certain people say in a certain time zone that Bloods wasn't moving around Los Angeles. Well, I guess these were some real motherfucking special individuals because they was moving the way they want to. And I didn't talk to a lot of reputable people through these level 4s, and that's the first time I ever heard some shit like that, the person who said that. But our trenches, man. Keep it moving and doing what we do, man. Shout out.
Yo. Once again, it's the Professor, MRock,